Hey there, and welcome to the Happy Wife Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Grimion, certified coach, podcaster, mom of 3, and happy wife of 19 years. I help busy women in their 40s get their spark back in their marriages without any effort from their husbands. If you're ready to get happy and get the love and connection back that you desire, then you're in the right place. Here, I'll share tips and strategies that helped me go from meh in my marriage to thriving and more connected than ever before. Are you ready, friend? Grab a LaCroix and let's get started. Hey there, and welcome back to the Happy Wife Mentor Podcast. I'm Jenny Grimion, and I'm so excited to be with you here again today. Today, we are going to be talking about the unexpected way creativity heals disconnection in marriage. I don't know about you, but I know for me, my creativity was completely stifled at one point. I grew up in a town where, to be honest, it didn't seem to me to be a lot of creativity around me. I mean, that was my perception. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just really never got exposed to creative pursuits that really lit me up, I guess it was. I did take an art class when I was in high school, but it was nothing I was really interested in. The teacher didn't really give us any projects or anything like that that really interested me. I did like to draw, and when I was on the cheerleading team in middle school, I did, I think, some banners, and that was really fun. I always did that kind of thing, but I just never saw any reason, I guess, to continue pursuing creative things. And so my mind really went to like making money, getting out on my own, and really crushing it and figuring out a way to never have to depend on anyone, which are all very masculine traits. Okay. We talk a lot about on this show, feminine and masculine polarity and how that really affects a marriage and a relationship. Those are all very masculine attributes. I got into sales right out of college, which, I've always loved business and just learning about that. And so sales was just a natural fit for me. But when you get into that, you are, again, really in your masculine. There's not really a lot of room for expressing your femininity or your feminine side. And so I think that is kind of my background of how I really moved so far away from things that were creative. Quite honestly, didn't have the time for them, didn't really want to make the time for them. I had agendas and things. I mean, I sound like I was really like a terrible person to be around. I don't think that's it. It just I had a lot more masculine attributes than feminine. And I've spent the last probably 9 or 10 years of rediscovering my creative side, which is, and becoming more feminine in the process because creativity is feminine. So as a recap, some of the feminine energy kind of qualities are creativity. Being receptive, meaning receiving things that are offered to you, receiving help, letting someone hold the door open for you, being nurturing without overhelping, as we've talked about on this show, being present and grounded in your body, being intuitive, being connected spiritually, trusting God and your sense of knowing or the Holy Spirit in your life. Being playful. When's the last time you were playful, right? As when we're kids, we're playful, we're creative, we do artistic things, and then it's like life gets in the way and we become hardened. And honestly, the culture that we live in leans more masculine. And so there's this like, gotta get it done, work ethic, have a work ethic, go make all the money and strive for all the things. Those are all very masculine qualities. So if we're talking about masculine qualities, it's goal focused, protective and steady, disciplined, independent, logical, maybe analytical, solutions oriented, right? You value achievement, progress. And look, we all have both of these things in us, but as women innately, we are feminine. And especially in your relationship with your husband, if you're resonating more with these masculine attributes that I'm mentioning here, then you are actually probably clashing with him. If you're not clashing with him, if it seems a little symbiotic, but you're feeling like you wish he would be more assertive, then honestly, he's probably leaning more into his feminine and you're more in the masculine. And when that happens, we start to be a little resentful that they won't step up. And we wish that they would do that. I'm getting off in the weeds here. So we're talking about creativity. And I wanted to, just like I did, kind of recap what the attributes of the feminine and the masculine are. So why is creativity the gateway to flow and joy, which is what happens when you're creative? The reason why is because, like I said, women are innately feminine, right? Creativity is a part of that. When you lean into your creativity, whether it be painting or gardening or pottery or dancing or singing, any of these things, your mind gets into a flow state that's really hard to achieve any way else. And I know for me, when I'm painting, hours can go by and you just get into a flow. Not only does it bring you into the present and helps you to ground and just kind of like feel more alive, but also it makes you joyful. It just makes you happy doing these things. And so that's another reason why it's such an essence of femininity, is that joyful, playful, happy feeling that you get when you are creative. What are some everyday ways to be creative? Like I said, think about things that you loved to do as a child. What were some of those things? Did you like to draw? Were you a dancer? Did you love flowers? Was your mother someone that had fresh flowers in the home and you just loved the flowers? And maybe she was a gardener and you loved to get out and help her in the garden, or you watched her arrange flowers, and maybe that's something that's just deep in your soul that you've gotten away from. Maybe you're like me and I was a few years ago and realized like I never had fresh flowers in my home. And why? It makes me happy. Now I'm getting fresh flowers usually at least once a week. Either my husband buys them for me or I'm out and about and I buy them for myself because they just make me happy. Maybe it's just cooking or baking. Did you like to bake as a kid? I know my daughters, I love to see them getting in the kitchen and baking and doing those creative things. I have one daughter who loves to bake brownies, and she has from scratch recipe that she likes, and she also has a box recipe. It just depends on how she feels in the moment. Was that something that you loved as a child? Think back to those things. Maybe it was reading fun fiction books just for the sake of pleasure, just to read, right? Not to learn something or have a specific goal in mind, but just for fun, just for pleasure. So yeah, think back to what it was that you loved maybe as a child. Is there anything that you've had in the back of your mind that you've wanted to try that's creative, but you just feel like there's no time for it? I would encourage you to really think about that and journal on that. What are some things that you've wanted to get into or did like as a child, but you just haven't had the time or made the time for it in years? I would definitely think about that. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is how creative flow really transforms your marriage. And the way that it does that is creativity causes us to really reconnect to our true self, our true nature. I know it did for me. Finding painting as an adult, I was about 36 when I started painting. Had never painted before in my life. Like I said, I liked to draw as a child and doodle and did bubble letters and those kind of things in high school and middle school, but never really realized that it just made me so happy. And I discovered that as an adult. I found that it really connected me to just a side of myself that was able to get into the flow and not feel like I had to be accomplishing something or working towards a goal. Honestly, I could just paint just for fun, to put the paint on the canvas, to mix colors together, to see things happen in the art. And that's why I love the type of art that I do, which is abstract art, because I create things that I've never seen before. It's playing. It's the process. And in that process, you just literally reconnect to yourself and you get into that flow state. And the second way that this creativity and this flow transforms our marriage is it makes you smile. It makes you happy. And like we've talked about before on this show, what happens in our marriage when we are happy and we are joyful is we walk into our homes, or when our husband walks into our home, we've got a smile on our face naturally. And we're able to put a smile on our face. And when we start showing up happier and more joyful, then we magnetize our husbands to us because he sees that we're pleasable. He sees that we're happy. We're a joy to be around, and it makes him want to be around more. It's like the opposite of us being a porcupine, right? If we really think about how we're showing up in our marriages, in our everyday life, if we don't have a smile on our face, if we're naturally just the first things we're talking about are the things that aren't going right, or that, oh, you need to make that list of things to talk to him about, which are all negative, right? The things that maybe you wish he would do a little better. If we're showing up with all of that stuff first, then we literally are like a porcupine, and no one wants to be around a porcupine, right? And a lot of times when we're doing that and showing up that way, we are in our masculine and we're not tuned in to these feminine gifts, one of which, like we're talking about today, is creativity. It allows you to be the opposite of a porcupine, which is what we all want, which is joy, happiness, and it's going to magnetize your husband to you. Again, as a recap, we talked about feminine and masculine energy dynamics, and I really want you to think about which one are you leaning more into. Creativity is an essence of femininity, and so it is the gateway to flow and joy as a feminine woman. And then the third thing is we talked about everyday ways to be creative. Look back at your childhood. If there's not something that's burning in your mind right now of something that you might want to try to be more creative, then look back at your childhood. But maybe there is. Maybe there is something that you naturally know that, hey, I'd like to do more of that, or I'd like to try that. I'd like to take that class, but I don't have the time for that. I mean, who has the time for that? Now is the time to make the time, ladies. No one's coming. No one's going to give you the time. Life is not going to slow down. It is what it is, and it's our job to fit the things into our life that makes us happy. And then the fourth thing that we discussed was how the creative flow transforms marriages. And as a recap, that's just because it puts a smile on our face. It puts us into a state of being that is joyful, that is happy, and it allows us to show up that way to our husbands, which starts to make a huge shift in the marriage. And it starts to magnetize him to you, which is what we all want, is to get that love and connection that we want in our marriage. So I hope that this information about creativity made you think. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it sparked some ideas for you to sit and think about how you're showing up on the scale of 1 to 10 with creativity in your life. Is it present or is it not? And if it's not, then why not? It's time to make the time. Thanks for being with me today. I hope this helped you. If it did, as always, please share this with someone that might need to hear it. You can always send me an email if you have questions or comments at coaching@jennygrimion.com. And I hope to see you right back here at the same time and same place next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey girl, I hope this podcast episode blessed you today. If it helped you in any way, I would so appreciate it if you shared it with a friend. Sharing is caring, and it's the best way for you to support me in this work. I would also love to hear from you. You can DM me on Instagram at Jenny Grimion, and you can also join my free Facebook community at the Happy Wife Club with Jenny Grimion. So, go do something fun for yourself today, and I'll see you right back here next week.